This morning, President Biden is on his way home from a high-stakes trip to Asia. He met overnight with top officials in Vietnam, a former enemy that has become strategically important to the U.S. It's a visit that follows the G20 summit in India, another important venue for American efforts to compete with intense Chinese influence. Ed O'Keefe has got another stamp in his passport. He's in Vietnam for us this morning. Ed, good morning to you.
Tony, good to see you. Vietnam shares a border and a long history with China, but with President Biden's first ever visit to this country, the U.S. and Vietnam are trying to put the pain of the past behind them in order to maintain stability in this region. A warm welcome from Vietnam amid a weekend of meetings on the world stage. The trip began Friday in India and was seen as a way to continue building a network of allies to pressure China to play by international rules.
I am sincere about getting the relationship right.
But a new CBS News poll finds 57% of Americans believe the president's being too easy on China. He said being tough isn't the solution.
We're not looking to hurt China, sincerely. We're all better off if China does well.
Republicans criticized that stance.
This was a wrong message to send. It was not one of deterrence.
Still, the president's re-election campaign is sending its own message about leadership on the global stage, launching part of a $25 million ad campaign in 7 battleground states.
Joe Biden walks shoulder to shoulder with our allies in the war-torn streets.
That highlights the president's February trip to Ukraine. But at the G20 summit in India, Mr. Biden couldn't get all of the world's major powers to agree on a full condemnation of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Instead, a joint declaration merely expressed concern for the suffering of the Ukrainian people.
I think the statement's a very strong one. Virtually every member of the G20, perhaps minus one, is intent on making sure that there is a just and durable end to this Russian aggression.
Now, Russia's Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping both skipped the G20 summit, but President Biden told us he actually spoke with China's number 2, who was in attendance, and that their conversation, quote, wasn't confrontational at all. He is now on his way back to the United States. He will stop in Alaska to refuel Air Force One and meet with troops, first responders, and their families there to mark the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks before heading home to Washington. Gayle?
All right, Ed O'Keefe reporting from Hanoi. We thank you.